Welcome again, Ace Frehley fans, to my Media Museum. This is our second episode looking at Ace Frehley's solo releases. And in 1989, we got Trouble Walkin, which was the first solo release of his since 1978's Kiss solo album that has nothing but Ace on lead vocals. The first two, well actually two and an EP of Frehley's Comet had another vocalist singing some of the songs, which a lot of us Ace Frehley fans weren't too thrilled about. We wanted to hear all Ace all the time, you know. He's got that special, unique voice. Point out some special guests. You'll notice we've got Criss, additional vocals and percussion. That's cool. Sebastian Bach, interesting. Dave Sobo, Rachel Bolin, and that's kind of neat there to see Criss and Sebastian Bach especially being credited on here. We've still got John Regan on bass guitar and synthesizer fix on Fractured 3. Synthesizer fix, FX, special effects. Richie Scarlett, Anton Fig on drums and percussion, and Sandy Salvin drums on Trouble Walkin. So we do have Anton back for this one. Looks like Todd is completely gone at this point. And he was a great vocalist, but it just didn't fit for a lot of us. Really cool Ace signature there. The way he does the Ace of Hearts. And a little, that's kind of neat. But yeah, you know, nothing against Todd. He was a good vocalist. Liked the songs that he did, but would have preferred to have heard Ace singing his own songs, which is what we finally got here with Trouble Walkin. And this is a really, really good release. Probably his best solo release, in my opinion, since 1978. Comet and Second Sighting had some really good songs on them, but this one's just full of great tracks. And here's the CD itself there, another very reflective one, so you're seeing me in the camera as much as anything. Not much I can do about that. Can't film in a mirror without a reflection. So here we've got Shop Full of Rock, Do Ya, which is a cover of an old ELO song, Do You Want My Love? I thought Ace did a great version of that. 5-Card Stud, Hide Your Heart, which we talked about previously in the Kiss CD singles. Ace did it, Molly Hatchet did it, Kiss did it. There was a number of artists that recorded Hide Your Heart all within the span of a year and a half, 2 years. Lost in Limbo, Trouble Walkin', Too Young to Die, Back to School, Remember Me, and Fractured 3. Now, if you remember, we just looked at it in the last episode. The previous instrumental track ending Second Sighting was called The Acorn is Spinning. So we had Fractured Mirror on the Kiss solo, and then Fractured 2 on the first Frehley's Comet, and now we've got Fractured 3. And you'll see it come back again. There will be another Fractured song. Okay, so from 1989, we take quite a jump to 1997 before we get another release from Ace, and it's not even a full album. It's a greatest hits 12 picks. So 12 songs, 12 picks. Kind of neat the way they did the album with it having 12 picks. Yeah. And a little bit of art there on the back. It's a little fuzzy in the original picture, so that's not a focusing issue here. That's the way it is. So, and we've got the credits here for pretty much each song's got its own credits. And you'll see he's still got Peter Criss, additional vocals, percussion, special guest on Hide Your Heart. So him and Peter, they stayed in touch and they stayed around. And you'll see on Insane here we've got Todd. Well, actually this is the greatest hits. I gotta remember you're gonna have a little bit of everybody, because yeah, it's gonna have all the people that's played with him and all the songs that they've done. And then you'll notice here we've got some live tracks. After Rock Soldiers, he did a whole string of live ones on here, which not really a big fan of live as much as studio, but at least he did the studio songs and then the live ones. So we've got Into the Night, Words Are Not Enough, which if I remember correctly, Words Are Not Enough, yes, was the new +1 on Frehley's Comet Live +1. So that's where Words Are Not Enough came from. Then Insane, Hide Your Heart, Trouble Walkin, Rock Soldiers, and then it switches over to live and we get Rip It Out, Breakout, Cold Gin, Shock Me, Rocket Ride, and Deuce, which basically was a remake of an old Kiss song. But what I was really trying to say was basically Ace doing a cover of a Kiss song there, even if it is live. Tracks 1 and 6 from Frehley's Comet, 2 from Live +1, 3 from Second Sighting, 4 and 5 from Trouble Walkin', and tracks 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 previously unreleased live recordings. So this was basically a live EP, in my opinion, with some other studio tracks tacked on. So that's still, just to get something from Ace, when you're a big Ace fan, it was cool at the time. So glad to have had it. Anything is better than nothing, which is what we'd had leading up to there. So here's the disc, basically a black and white redo of the front cover. And then the back, yeah, this is a good mess, huh? Try figuring out the order of the songs here if you didn't have a breakdown on the inside. So they're just kind of tossed around with the different track names on them. Not a big fan of that. I'd rather have a numbered list of tracks, but that's just me. So you follow up 12 picks in 97 with another greatest hits album in 98. And we got Ace Frehley's Loaded Deck. So again, it would have been nice to have had a whole new album, but we only get a few new songs. 1+1 being one of the new tracks. Give It To Me Anyways. Do Ya, which we just saw from Trouble Walkin'. Give It To Me Anyways was a new track too, by the way. I meant to say 1+1 and Give It To Me Anyways. Then Do Ya is, of course, a rehash. It's Over Now, Shot Full of Rock, Stranger in a Strange Land, Separate, New York Groove, written by Russ Ballard. I was trying to think of that in the first episode. I wanted to say, but I didn't want to say it wrong and have another error in a video. But yeah, that was Russ Ballard that wrote New York Groove originally. Remember Me, Fractured 2, and Fractured 3. And I do remember seeing something somewhere along the way where he wanted to put Fractured Mirror and have all three of those in a row there, but he couldn't get an agreement for the licensing for Fractured Mirror to appear on this release. So I just made a copy for myself to listen to, inserting that track in there so that I'd have the whole run. I think I actually threw the Acorn of Spinning on there too, so I'd have all 4 of his instrumentals at this point play in a sequence. Pretty cool. And here's the disc itself, and we actually get something other than just a shiny mirror to look at. We've got a guitar background with Ace Frehley's. I don't know if that's his signature or just some kind of fancy graphic. But hopefully you could read those notes and those credits on the inside if you chose to do so. So after Loaded Deck, we get another compilation. Now this one's got a lenticular cover. It's not going to do it justice. It just looks 3D. It doesn't really move. So the camera is not going to do it justice here for us. And looking at the disc itself, trying to get it rotated there. Got a pretty cool looking disc. But we're going to run short on time. So we're going to end this episode and pick up where we left off in the next one. So I hope you come back and join us for the conclusion of Ace Frehley's Greatest Hits Live in part 3 of this series. And we'll look at the inside of the booklet at that point. Right now we're going to go ahead and go over the track list because we've got enough time to cover it. And Rip It Out, Break Out, Cold Gin, Time Again, Shock Me, Rocket Ride, Deuce, Strangers in a Strange Land, Separate, New York Groove, Rock Soldiers, and 1+1. Now, I want to point out that it is not Strangers in a Strange Land. That was a printing error. It was Stranger in a Strange Land. So, I don't know if they corrected that in later prints or not, but they definitely got it wrong on the first run. So, come on back and we'll look at that booklet before moving on to the next actual studio release that Ace gave us at that point. Have a wonderful day. See you again soon.